Time is 12:25
Okay, we're on the record at 12:25.
on August 26th. Yes, ma'am. Swear to witness, please.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Michelle Hilliard Bullock, a commissioned notary public in the state of Texas. Today's date is August the 26th, 2026, and the time is approximately 12:26 p.m. This deposition is taking place at Thornton, Bicklin, Guerrera Law Firm at 100 Northeast Route 410, Suite 500. I will now ask the witness to be sworn in. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give in this deposition shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Would you state your name, please, and tell our ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you do for a living?
My name is Phil Scott Vaughn, and I'm a CPA.
And who are you with?
Who I work for?
Mm-hmm.
Armstrong, Vaughn and Associates.
How long have you been there?
22 years.
Long time. So are you one of the principals?
Yes.
How many other principals are there right now?
There's 4 others.
And who are those?
There's Leanne Ushery.
Could you spell that?
Leannussery. Kimberly Roach, Roach. There's a Deborah Frazier, Fraser. And Janet Petitis, Pittides.
Okay, so there's no Armstrong?
No,
What happened to Armstrong?
he retired in 2009 or 10.
When did you first start working with Jason and John Elmore? Jason Delgado and John Elmore?
I don't really work with them. There's not any direct communication that I have with them. It's very rare.
Okay, my question was, when did you ever first start working with Jason Delgado or John Elmore?
Are you asking?
Historically, what connection do you have to Jason Delgado and John Elmore?
Are you asking what the first time I met him?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
I would say I met Jason by email, maybe 2010. It's just a guess. I don't really recall.
And John?
I would assume something similar.
Were they with Spectrum then?
Yes.
Did you do the CPA work for Spectrum?
Like their particular work, or is that what you're asking? Do I do work for Spectrum?
Yeah.
I don't do any work for Spectrum.
Did you do anything with Jason Delgado or John Elmore were involved in when they were with him?
Not that I can recall.
So how did you meet him if it wasn't through work?
Well, we didn't work with them. We worked for some of their communities.
That's what I'm talking about. Communities that they manage.
Okay.
Yeah. So communities that were managed by what outfit at the time?
Which communities? I'm sorry, can you clarify?
Okay. I don't know. Sometimes I'm pretty vague.
I want to make sure I tell you the
I
right.
know,
Tell
I
you the
got you.
truth.
And they told you, make sure to nail it down. I understand. So let's nail me down. You were talking about when you first met those two dudes, they were working in community management. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. What were you doing that caused you to meet them?
I was doing work for communities that were managed by Spectrum.
That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so you were doing work for HOAs. Is that right?
Yes.
Have you ever had your deposition taken before?
Yes.
How many times?
believe twice.
Only twice, okay. Then let's go over some of the rules. So it'll make it a little easier for, sometimes people have been deposed a lot and they like to skip that. Okay? But I think you've probably been properly told. I ask questions, you give the answers. I can tell you're trying to understand my question. I'll try to be clear. If I'm not, let me know. If I talk over you, be sure to tell me. And likewise, let me finish my question before you answer. And you got a lawyer here, so as you know, he has a right to object, and he can say a couple things. He can say objection, responsiveness, objection form, right? And then you go ahead and answer. So you give him time to put in his objection. You go ahead and answer anyway, unless he says, I instruct you not to answer that, okay? Any side conversations we have, we're not supposed to have on the record, but you can generally ignore those. And so there aren't any trick questions. What there are is questions that may be confusing. And so if I am, please be sure to tell me that you're confused and I'll try to fix it. Okay, so going back to when you first started working with the Spectrum managed HOAs, with those residential subdivisions,
Some, yes.
were some townhouses
Yes.
and were some condos.
Yes.
Are you required under your auditing rules? Well, strike that. Were you auditing them or just doing bookkeeping for them at the time?
I don't believe I've ever done bookkeeping, but there's more than just auditing.
Okay. Let's get a little bit of your background. And why don't you tell me where you went to school, what you did, where you've been working since, where you grew up, where you went to school, and how you ended up where you are.
Okay. That was a long question.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Give me your little narrative bio, if you will.
Okay. Where would you like me to start? Or is there
Where'd you go? Where'd you grow up? Are you from San Antonio?
Yes, I grew up here in San Antonio.
Where'd you go to school?
For high school or
Yeah, sure.
St. Mary's Hall.
Okay, and then where'd you go to college?
My undergrad was at Colorado School of Mines.
That's nice. And then where did you get a master's in anything?
Yes.
Where'd you get that?
UTSA.
Okay. What was your undergrad in?
Computer science.
And what's your master's in?
It's a master's of accounting.
Okay. And then when did you get your CPA?
2008.
Where'd you initially go to work?
As a accountant,
Yeah, after 2008.
I was already working as an accountant in 2008 at Armstrong, Vaughn and Associates.
Okay. So you worked here for Ralph, or what's his name? Mr. Armstrong?
I didn't work directly for him, but he was there at the time.
Is his first name Ralph?
No.
No, it's you're somebody named Ralph, right? Used to be.
Don't think
Okay.
so.
Okay, got that wrong. All right. What is Mr. Armstrong's first name?
Jorden.
Gordon. All right. When did he leave? Retire?
I believe 2008 or 2009 or 2010.
Okay, so who was in charge after he left?
As far as like the largest shareholder, then we've got Nancy Vaughn.
And when did she leave?
I believe it was 2017.
Is that your mother?
Yes.
All right. Did the firm have any connection with Jason Delgado before you got here?
I'm not sure.
What about John Elmore?
I'm not sure.
Were they clients you procured?
No, I don't believe so.
You wouldn't remember that?
Well, can you define procure or how that you would?
I came from a law firm, and you generally kind of know what clients are on your roster, but when you procure, like, that's my client. Were they ever your client? Or where they worked?
I mean, I guess the way I would answer that is that we had a relationship with Spectrum Communities prior to me being there. Is that right?
That's what I was, yeah. Your Spectrum was a client of the firm before you got it.
Correct.
Are they still a client of the firm?
Correct.
Okay, did you know whether or not they had a non-compete with Jason and John?
I have no knowledge of that.
Okay, so Jason and John end up creating their own place and going to Houston, creating Rice. Correct? You knew that, did you know?
I'm vaguely aware of
That
that
they
they're
are.
involved, but I don't know the extent that they're involved.
At Rice? You don't know that
Correct.
they own Rice?
I don't know.
No. Well, as auditors, you were responsible for looking into the contracts of Parc, for example, in doing this audit. So it has a management agreement with Rise. Would you not be required to know who the principal owners were of Rise?
Objection form.
What is the objection?
I mean, you asked him 4 questions, so I'm not sure which one you want him to ask in that.
I thought it was one question. Let me try to make it clear that it is one question. As an auditor of the park, are you not required to know who the principal owners are of the managing agent?
We are not required to know the owners of the management company.
Are you not required to make disclosures about contracts with affiliates?
No, not all affiliates are required to be disclosed.
Which ones are?
It would be professional judgment in terms of which ones are considered significant and important to the reader of the financial statements.
Do you ask? Let's go back to your narrative, and then we'll come back to this. Is Spectrum still a client? You said yes, right?
Spectrum itself is not a client.
Well, okay. You don't audit them, and you don't do their books, but you do HOAs that are managed by them.
Correct.
Is that a significant part of your business?
Can you define significant?
It's probably say anything, 10%.
No. They would not meet the 10%.
Do you have any one management company that you do, that it makes up 10% of your business?
No.
With the company entities? So y'all do a lot of HOAs, right?
Yes.
And how many HOAs do you do that are managed by Rise?
It varies by year, because not all of them will repeat. But if you're asking for the last year,
Mm-hmm.
I would estimate it was 5.
Only 5 of their communities.
Yes.
Does Nicholas Serenal do all of those?
No.
He did work on the park, right?
He did work on the part for 2025, yes.
What about Remy Christine?
She's one of our audit administrators.
Does she handle the park for a while?
She doesn't do any of the accounting work.
Right, but has she had them as a client that she's handled for a while?
No, that's not her role.
How do you spell her last name?
It's hyphenated, and I kind of honestly,
How do you
there's
pronounce it?
4
It's
names. We call her Remy Christine,
Uh-huh.
and the last name also has 2 words in it, and I couldn't spell it for you off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Say it for me.
Honestly, I couldn't. I'm drawing a blank. I couldn't even say it right now. It's I believe it's Guevara Hilardo. If I'm not saying that incorrectly, and it's hyphenated.
Okay. Is Remy Christine, is like an administrator, right?
Correct.
And you don't know how long she's been over the park?
That's not her role. So
What's her role?
she handles correspondence. So if we send an email to a client, she does follow up to try to get documents back and forth that we may have requested.
Yeah, so if you're making adjustments or something like that, and she's trying to contact them, she might handle sending that stuff and getting stuff back to you from Matt Mayer, for example.
She would follow up based on our correspondence and try to help us get that stuff back.
And she might be dealing with Christy Gwynn over at Rise too. Do you know her?
That name doesn't sound familiar.
Do you know Matt Mayer?
I have exchanged emails with him. I don't know if that's the extent of my knowing him.
Do you ever go over to the physical premises of any of the local entities that you do audits for?
No.
Never.
I mean, not never, but I'm assuming you're asking about Parc condos in particular.
No, I'm not asking about both. No, I'm just saying,
Okay.
do you ever go over when you're trying to look at their internal controls and get a lay of the land, see how some outfit's running?
Yes, that can happen.
When does that happen?
It's based on professional judgment and perhaps when the last time it occurred and whether or not there have been any changes that we feel like should be updated.
Give me an example of a kind of change that might prompt you to go do that.
A change to a new managed company that we're not familiar with.
So your loyalty in your audit is to the association, not the management company, is that correct?
Objection form.
What is the
No.
objection to that form?
Well, I don't think he stated that. I think you haven't proven enough that he's got the qualifications to do that. I think it
Okay.
also misstates the law.
Do you remember the question?
Can
Who's
you
your
go
client?
restate it?
Who's your client?
Client is the community.
That community. And so your job is to report to the association, right?
I would say more specifically the board of directors.
Yes. Okay, great. And in that job, when you're reporting to the board of directors, you're actually, one of the things you're reporting to them about is the job being performed by their energy agent if they have one, right?
No, I would say that that's not the primary responsibility in an audit engagement.
I don't believe I said that, so if you
Okay.
thought that, then my question may have confused you.
Sure, can you please restate it?
That is one of the things that you would report to the board about, and one of the things you're looking for when you do an audit is the performance of the managing agent.
No.
Do you have some obligation to look for fraud alerts, for example?
No.
If you see red flags that should alert you to fraud, what is your obligation?
Well, the first obligation would be to quantify the significance of that potential fraud.
What quantity is significant?
That would be professional judgment.
Yours?
Yes.
Let's just say like an expense, a normal expense that's been there for years goes from 85,000 to 285,000. Would that set off any alerts for you?
It could.
What would you do if you saw that?
I mean, we would. Depending on the significance of that, there are lots of procedures that we could perform.
I just told you the expense goes, the typical expense you carried on the books, 85,000, now it jumps to 285,000. What would you do to figure out whether or not that's significant?
Well, it would be based on the size of the community. So if this is a very large community, that would change the significance of that change in the example that you provided.
So the fact that it's 239% higher would not alert you by itself to do anything?
It depends on the size.
No, I'm saying an expense that goes up 239%. What are you supposed to do if you're doing an audit?
If they have 10 million in assessment revenue, that may not be a significant swing for them.
Well, I already established that it had been the same amount for several years. So you're suggesting that a swing of 239% is not significant by itself?
There could be a scenario where it wouldn't be, yes.
Well, I wasn't asking you for a scenario where it would be. I'm saying, what's your job when you see something like that?
Objection.
There's not a
There's not an
there's not a
accounting rule
prescription.
that says. Sorry, I talked over you. Yeah, I apologize. I talked over you. Go ahead and use your question.
There's not an accounting prescription that says, if you have a scenario like this, then you must do X.
Are you familiar with the, what they call SERA?
Are you asking what that spells, what it's short for?
Sure.
CIRA stands for Common Interest Realty Association.
Don't they have some guidelines for you to follow?
Who is they?
Well, the FASB that published the SERA guidelines and then put them in the rules.
Well, the FASB establishes accounting rules.
And don't you have rules that say don't you have guidelines that say when there's an expense that varies significantly that you actually have duties to investigate that?
No.
No. Okay. So, you don't believe you have a duty to investigate when an expense goes up from 85,000 to 285,000? Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you remember whether that ever happened at the Parc?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
But it wouldn't have bothered you, did it?
I mean, it depends on the situation. I mean, the auditing is risk-based, which is professional judgment. So there's not just one line that you can point to.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you that
Sure.
when it jumps from there to there, don't you actually do something?
Objection for.
You can.
Yeah, wouldn't it be prudent to look into it and ask for the data?
Well, I guess you're asking me if this happened with Parc, would I do something?
Yeah. Sure. We got a $2 million budget roughly, and an expense goes from 85,000 to 285,000. Would you look into that?
Objection form.
Again, it would depend on the risk factors and what other information I might already have.
What information could make you think that's okay?
I mean, there's lots of evidence, like minutes of the board of directors.
Do you look at the minutes?
Yes.
Do you look at the management agreement?
Not every year.
Have you ever looked at the management agreement?
Are you asking specifically for Parc condos?
Yes, sir.
I could not tell you if we have. It's not fresh on. I don't have that in front of me to be in our files.
Do you ask the management company to disclose its affiliates?
We ask the manager.
explain to me how that's different than what I asked you?
I think you were asking the management, which based on your earlier questions, might have been the management of Rise.
I said, did you ask the management company? That's what I said. Now that refers to something other than management, huh? To you?
No, was trying to, and this is my fault, I should have asked for clarification. The manager is an employee of the management company, and that's the person that we asked. I was trying to be a little bit more specific.
So, are you suggesting to me that your contact with the board for purposes of doing an audit is the on-site manager?
Can you clarify that again?
You just are the one you told me. Try to follow your logic here. We're trying to narrow down why you went from management company to manager. Do you know who the manager is at the park?
I do not know who the current manager is now.
Right, but you were saying that's the person that you talked to. It doesn't seem right to me because you don't even know who it is. So let me back up. Strike that. Who do you talk to at the park?
Are you asking today or when?
You go ahead.
I don't recall an email with the park recently, so that's why I don't know who the manager is.
Are you the person in charge of the audits of the park since 2017?
No.
Who was?
Well, let me ask a clarifying question. Which years of those are you asking for?
Let's go
all of them?
2018.
I do not recall.
What years did you work on the audit of the park?
I'm not 100% certain, but I believe it was 2022 through 2025.
The park fiscal year ends when?
February 28th.
Okay, so what did you mean when you said 2022?
The February 28th of 2022.
Okay. Fiscal year ending 22, right?
Yes.
And yet, Rise throughout refers to that as the 23 audit. That's hard to reconcile. Do you know why they do that?
I don't know why.
So when you say 2022 audit, you're referring to the fiscal year ending in 22.
Yes.
That would be comprised largely of year 2021.
Yes.
When did you first begin working on year 2021?
I couldn't tell you.
Was it in 2021?
Okay, so just to clarify again, so it'd be February 28th of 2021 year end is your question, right? And when did that begin?
You told me you started working on park audits in fiscal year 2022. Is that correct, or would you like to change that?
To the best of my recollection, that's when I was the partner in charge of that engagement.
Was that engagement halted before the audit was produced?
Do not recall.
Did you get ready for this deposition?
Church and form.
Ready how?
Look at the notice and think whether or not you were the person that knew how to answer those topics?
I did not review my files in preparation for this deposition.
Did you review that notice that's exhibit number 1?
I was provided a copy of it, yes.
Did you review it?
Yes.
Did you meet with your lawyer?
Yes.
You were deposed one other time?
I believe I answered twice.
Twice. Were those in connection with lawsuits?
Yes. I believe so.
Were they lawsuits in which AVA was a defendant?
I don't believe so. My memory's not very good right now on the situations that why those were called. I can think of one in particular, and we were not the defendant.
But when were you deposed before?
I don't remember the date.
Well, I bet
In
you
the
have a
last-
ballpark whether it was last year or 10 years ago.
Maybe 5.
In what case was that connected to?
I don't remember the name of the case.
Well, why were you deposed?
They asked me about the tax return that they had prepared.
Who's they?
The association that was a party to the case.
Who is that? What association?
I think, if my memory serves me, it was Lakewood. Something or other after that. It's fuzzy.
Where was that?
I believe most of it was conducted from my office
And where's Lakewood?
on the Texas coast somewhere.
And the case was proceeding where?
I don't recall.
Who took your deposition?
I don't recall
Who represented you there?
who represented me.
Did Mr. Reynolds?
No.
And how long was that depot?
Like the timeline of it. Like how long was I sitting?
That's what it means when I say how long. How long was the depot? It was like, an hour, 2 hours?
At most 2 hours.
And then the other time you were deposed, is that before or after that one you just told me about with Lakewood?
Before.
And where were you deposed? Why were you deposed in the other case? Because you did the tax return?
It was not a homeowners association, and we were I guess we were a consultant.
And what was the topic about? Why were you deposed?
It was a charter school that was in negotiations with Texas Education Agency.
What was your role in that?
We were consulting the charter school on their accounting practices.
Advising them what practices to use?
It more so reviewing what they had already done.
Okay. So, why are you being deposed today? Did you pick yourself to be the person to answer these questions? Or did somebody else ask you?
I am the partner in charge of the RISE communities.
Okay.
Currently.
We got it. There we go. You're the person in charge of the rights communities. And you tell me, to the best of your recollection, there are only 5 rights communities?
For the last 2025 fiscal year, that's the best of my knowledge.
How many were there at its peak?
I would estimate 10.
Do you do HOA communities all over the state of Texas?
Yes.
Do you do a lot in your backyard in San Antonio, where we are?
Yes.
And those are the ones that you go out and visit sometimes.
Not exclusively, but more commonly, yes.
Have you ever been to Houston to visit any association that you do work for?
None come to mind.
Have you ever told anybody that you can't be deposed because you're outside a subpoena range of a place, of an association in Houston that has a case pending in Houston?
That was news to me.
Who told you that?
I mean, I don't know.
If you're
Don't-
talking about lawyer, yeah.
Don't disclose anything that you talked about.
I'm not
here.
asking you about your counsel. Somebody told us when we tried to get your deposition that we couldn't take it because you were outside of subpoena range. Did you know that?
No,
It was somebody at your office. You didn't know?
no.
So you're been in charge of the RISE account since you started working on it in 2022 fiscal year audit? Is that right? It's not that hard a question. You told me you started working on it. Let me break it down into little parts.
Yeah,
You started working on it, FYE 22. We got that down, right? Your first involvement. Was your first involvement in FYE 22 audit just recently when they finished it, or back when they worked on it the first time?
Objection.
If my recollection is correct and I was the partner in charge on 2022, I would have been involved at the time.
Back then.
Yes.
Do you know why it was tabled and not finished until 2026?
I do not recall that scenario.
You can't recall that?
That was his answer.
Yeah, I don't recall.
You don't
that.
recall anything about that? Are there any correspondence that caused you to initiate? Well, let's go back to that. Let's see. Let's look at this deposition. Well, let's see if you recall this. Do you recall finishing that audit in 2026? The one for FYE 22.
That does not sound familiar, no.
Would you have an audit trail that would show you exactly when you worked on that, when you tabled it, and when you resumed it?
We should have records that would document the date.
Have you ever seen any of those records or been involved in any of that correspondence? Would it have your name on it, for example, when it said, don't work on that anymore?
Most likely, yes.
And you don't remember that correspondence?
I don't recall a correspondence like that.
Do you know why you were stopped from finishing that audit in 2022?
I don't recall the situation that you're describing, so I don't recall the reason.
Did you make any adjustments to that audit that you remember? We'll look at it in a minute, but just want to know if it stands out in your mind at all when something like that happens.
I do not recall that situation happening.
So if they said that RISE fired you in 2022, you don't have any recollection of that or know anything about it. Is that right?
I'm not aware of that situation.
Okay. So nobody in your office would have ever said we got fired by RISE and being truthful. Is that correct?
You said it one more time, sorry.
If somebody from your office said we got fired by RISE from doing that, finishing that audit, that would be untrue. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I don't remember the situation that you're describing, so I don't know whether it would have been true or untrue.
All right. Why don't you flip to the 2022 audit in there and tell me when it says it was finished.
When you say finished, you're talking about, typically the way I think about it is the date that we date our report.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, according to what you have in front of me, April 11th, 2023.
But that date is, in your common practice, that's the date when you start the work, isn't it?
No, that date of our report is when we have obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence to support our opinion.
So, So it's your testimony that you've furnished a full and complete audit to your client in 2023 for FYE 22? Is that correct? You want me to say that again real clear?
Please.
Okay. Is it your testimony that come 2023, you furnished a full and complete audit to the parks for FYE 22?
I don't recall off the top of my head.
And what would you have to do to figure that out, sir?
Can you?
Oh, I'm
stop-
sorry. I'm sorry.
Stop
Sorry.
interrupting.
I didn't mean to. You didn't recall. I bet you. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to. You don't recall whether or not you furnished that report in 23. And what else did you want to say?
Objection form.
I'm just,
I'm trying to let you finish your answer. Could you go ahead?
sure.
No, you're not, but
I don't recall the specific days of when it was furnished.
All right. But I think I said in 23, so I didn't ask you for a date. I said in 23, that would be 2023 calendar year. Did you furnish that report you're looking at, that audit, to the park?
I guess to clarify, I don't know whether this is the report that I produced. And so I don't know if I should rely on this or if I should review my files, which I don't have in front of me to review. And without reviewing my files, I can't tell you what the specific date was.
Did you do more than one for that year? I mean, if this one is, if this has got the artifacts in it such that it appears to have your signature, then I can assure you this came from Rise. So if you're saying, but for fraud of mine, you would be leery of saying that, then let's remove that from the table because there's no fraud of mine. This came off the Rise website for the park, okay? Now, if that was your concern, then let's put that aside. Other than the concern that somebody's messed with your copy, is there any other reason why that might not be the same as the 2022 fiscal year ending 2022 audit that you furnished to the park? For example, has there been more than one of those? Have you done it more than once?
objection form.
That would be one condition, right? So is there any reason that you would have, other than you thinking that I altered it, that you would be confused as to whether or not that was in fact your work product?
Objection form.
If this is the report that we presented, I think the question is you're asking, when did we give it to him? Can I just clarify, is that the question, or is the?
I think my question's pretty clear. You go ahead and give me whatever
Obviously,
answer.
it's not, because he's asking me to clarify it.
Okay, let's start again.
Because there were about 9
Let's start
questions
again.
you asked in 1 minute.
I think the form was enough. Let's start again. Did you furnish more than one audit for calendar year or fiscal year ending 22 to the park?
We only conducted one audit for 2022.
And that's not what I asked you to do. Did you
Yeah.
furnish a
Are you
document?
Are you saying is there only one version that we
Yeah.
provide them?
That's exactly what I'm asking.
There are draft versions.
In 2022, did you finish and finalize? For calendar year, let's start that. Let me start. You seem to be really leery that this might not be your work product. Can you explain why you're so scared that I might be tricking you on that? Because I'm not. This is what we got.
Objection to that one.
I guess I don't know what the chain of custody was on it. You know, if it can't, I don't know.
Let's get the Rise website and pull it up and let you look at it. Are you gonna trust their website, or does that also have a problem with your chain of custody?
Objection to that one.
I don't have anything to do with their website, so I would want the copy from my files.
Okay, so that means you don't wanna answer any questions today if we can't prove that this one is exactly the same as the one in your file. Is that what you're telling me?
Searching form.
I wanna give you the truthful answers that I
Then
can
I'm
give.
gonna do all of my questions predicated on this. Assume with me, if you will, that this is a true and correct copy of the work product of your firm. Can you make that assumption for me?
Yes.
Okay, now, look at that. You see this letter at the beginning of this to the board of directors, okay? Signed by Armstrong, Vaughn and Associates. Is that you that put that name there?
Assuming this is our work product, yes.
Every one of these questions is gonna be predicated on assuming that we have not altered your work product. This is directly from the Parc. Okay. All right. Parc gave them to us. We'll take a break and you can check your own if you want. But we're gonna operate on the idea that they gave us these. Now what I'm asking you is, did you ever produce more than one that had different contents in it, but would have had this letter looking like it was done? Let's see. What's the date here? This letter that says April 11th, 2023. Do you see that? In the, what's called the financial statement and required supplemental information for the year ended February 28th, 2022. Now, is that camera looking over this direction? Could you tell me if it can see this?
I mean, we can mark it as an
Okay.
exhibit.
Well, we've got it in this exhibit, but this whole book is gonna be exhibit number 2, okay?
The whole
So-
book?
Yeah, we're gonna make the whole book exhibit. Well, I wanna do them in order. So exhibit 2 is gonna be the book. Yeah, cause they're all in here in order. So let's get some nomenclature down so before we proceed. Okay. Exhibit number 2 that I'm in is a series of financial statements, right?
Yes.
We're gonna assume, for the purpose of this deposition, that these are true and correct copies of the official documents that are published to the Parc website. Okay? Do you understand how owners get copies of financial statements?
No.
Have you ever looked at the law about whether or not they're supposed to get them?
No.
No? Do you ever look at the declaration or bylaws with respect to any of the HOAs that you service and do audits for to see when they're supposed to get them?
Not specifically for that reason.
So you don't ever look to see whether or not there is a legal or a contractual duty for the board to provide owners with audited financials?
Not every time, no.
I didn't ask you every time. I said, have you ever looked with respect to an HOA whether it has a contractual obligation or a legal obligation to provide its associate members, the members of the association, the owners, with audited financials?
There have been occasions, yes.
Is it not part of your duty to know whether or not the owners are the recipients of that information?
Who defines the duty?
I asked you a question.
And he asked you one.
I don't answer questions.
Can
Do you
you-
remember my question?
Can you rephrase it?
Do you know do you ever look at the Parc declaration and bylaws to see whether or not they have a duty to provide financials to the owners?
I can't recall whether we did or.
And you don't think that, I'm sorry, you can't recall whether or not you did. Do you have an obligation under the auditing rules to know whether or not the financials are being provided to the owners?
No.
So whether or not there's a misrepresentation of the financial condition of the association to the owners is none of your concern.
I mean, there's reasons that could impact our risk considerations and what our auditing procedures might be.
Well, I don't understand that, cause you just told me you didn't know or care basically if the owners were relying on the information, and now you're saying it could actually affect your risk assessments.
Objection form.
Can you explain that?
I don't believe I said I don't care.
No, you do care. You know that owners read those, right?
Objection form.
I don't know what the owners have access to.
So, you don't think that in doing the financials that you have, to consider whether or not what you state would be misleading to the owners? Is that true?
You're asking if this financial report has a misstatement?
I didn't understand.
Okay, can you clarify please then?
I didn't think it was that hard.
Well,
Let me see.
whether you thought it was hard or not, is
I
really
don't
not
read
material.
that, okay.
Okay,
Let me
oh,
see.
if he asks for,
Objection form, objection responsiveness is your
good,
qualification. Okay.
then don't,
Uh,
well, wait, stop.
You can say
We're gonna-
objection
let's-
sidebar.
Okay, we're taking a break.
Okay.
Let's go.
Or maybe it's because the topic is a
Off the
little
record at
touchy.
13:17.
I think the topic's a little touchy for you, maybe.
No, it's not touchy. You
I'll tell you, it might be the
learn
topic.
how to ask
It
a
might
good
be the
question.
topic rather than me.
Learn how to ask a question.
Uh-huh. Well, he doesn't think shit about owners. And that's why he might have a claim against his policies. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to, but I'm getting him to put down his own commitment before I get to the law. He don't care about us. He don't care about the law. I mean, he don't care about that. Okay, take a 15-minute break. I'll be back. Hey, if you go downstairs, would you get me a Coke if there's a place?
Yes.
Okay.
Which,
You want a Coke?
David, if you go like down to the first floor,
Yeah.
and you'll see like the security guy by the Truist Bank over there to the left.
Yeah.
If back behind the other way, like is a cafeteria. It's like if you hit him and go left, you'll see a little cafeteria.